Hi, this is Rudy Jones of PlayMountainStateBaseball.com. Welcome to the South Carolina College Baseball video recap for Sunday, April the 13th. There were 18 games involving state teams played on Sunday, and let's take a look at what's going on. We'll start with the NCAA Division I. Clemson and Stanford played the final game of their series over at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. The Cardinals scored 2 runs in the fourth and 5 in the fifth to take charge and held on to beat Clemson 11-6. They salvaged the final game of that series. The Cardinal ended an 11-game ACC losing streak in that game, also snapped Clemson's 8-game winning streak, and knocked Clemson out of first place in the ACC. They're now tied for second with Florida State behind Georgia Tech. Stanford is now 19-14 overall, 6-12 in the conference. Clemson is 33-6 and 11-4. Jaron Purify had a couple of hits, scored a couple of runs, and drove in a couple of runs for the Tigers in that game. Elsewhere, Coastal Carolina beat Georgia State 4-2 to wrap up a Sun Belt Conference sweep. Luke Jones pitched 6 shutout innings and struck out 6 for the Chanticleers in that game as they wrapped up the sweep and stayed in a tie for first place in the conference. Blake Barthol had a home run, a walk, and a stolen base for Coastal, and the Chanticleers are now 27-9 overall, 11-4 in the Sun Belt. Georgia State fell to 22-16 and 8-7. In Spartanburg, USC Upstate completed a series sweep of Winthrop with a 17-1 run rule win over the Eagles. The Spartans scored 46 runs in that 3-game series, and they just really beat up on their old coach, Mike McGuire, who, of course, is now at Winthrop. And Kane Sweeney, who is Coach McGuire's assistant at Upstate, is doing a good job with the Spartans right now. Wiley Waters had 2 home runs and drove in 5 runs for the Spartans in that game. Also, Gage Griggs tied the school's Division I record for doubles in a game with 3. He also drove in 2 runs and scored twice for the Spartans. Upstate is now 19-17 overall, 8-4 in the Big South. Winthrop fell to 18-20 and 5-7. Delaware run ruled College of Charleston by a score of 11-1 in 8 innings to wrap up or salvage the final game of that Coastal Athletic Association series. Charleston had won the first 2. For the Cougars, Tyler Sorrento had a single and a double. College of Charleston fell to 21-13 overall, 7-5 in the CAA. Delaware improved to 18-16 and 6-6. Also in Charleston, Mercer scored a run in the 4th inning and held on to beat Charleston Southern by a score of 4-3 to salvage the final game of that split location series. The teams had played twice down in Mercer and Macon, and the Buccaneers won both games, but Mercer returned the favor today. With that win, Mercer improved to 23-15. Charleston Southern fell to 19-14. For Charleston Southern, Chandler Tuopo had a single and drove in 3 runs. Down in Birmingham, Stanford took an early lead and then held off a Citadel rally to win 8-5 and take the final game of that Southern Conference series. The host Bulldogs won that series 2-1. The Citadel got 3 hits and an RBI from Anthony Hausner in that game. Stanford is now 20-16 overall, 6-3 in the conference. The Citadel fell to 19-17 and 4-5. T.J. Anderson singled twice, doubled twice, and scored twice for the Bulldogs in that game. Elsewhere, in the Peach Belt Conference, Lander scored 5 runs in the 4th inning and held on to beat Georgia College to win that series, allowing the Bearcats to move into a second-place tie with the Bobcats in the Peach Belt Conference. They're both a game behind North Georgia, which swept Flagler over the weekend. Lander's now 29-13 overall, 17-4 in the conference. Georgia College fell to 26-17 and 17-4. Lander had snapped a 8-game winning streak by the Bobcats in Friday's series opener. Evan Wakari had 3 hits and a run and drove in 3 for Lander. Elsewhere, Newberry and Emory Henry split a South Atlantic Conference series. The host Wasps won the first game 5-1, or I should say a doubleheader split. Won the first game 5-1. Newberry won game 2 4-1. Wilson Wages and Jonathan Viglaz both had 2 hits in each game for Newberry in that split. Newberry is now 22-20 overall, 11-16 in the SAC, Emory and Henry is 13-29 and 5-19. Also in Virginia, Bryce Metz pitched 6 innings of one-hit shutout relief, and Southern Wesleyan won Game 2 of a doubleheader at King by the score of 10-4. The host Tornadoes won Game 1 7-3. Cam Mitchum had 4 hits, including a home run for the Warriors in that game, or in that doubleheader. Also, Florence Darlington Tech clinched the regular season championship in Junior College Region 10 for the 5th straight season with a 10-2 run rule win over USC Salkehatchie. The Stingers have now won 11 straight games. They are 38-8 overall, 21-3 in the region. Now, Tanner Beckley singled twice, walked, scored twice, and drove in a run for the Stingers in that game. Devin Mitchell had a homer and drove in 4 runs. And the reason the Stingers were able to clinch the regular season championship is because USC Union knocked off second place Gaston College by a score of 7-1 in Game 1. In that game, Gavin Underwood was 2 for 4 with a double, a run scored, and 3 RBIs. Gaston College got revenge in Game 2, run ruling the Banners by a score of 17-5 in 6 innings. Mason Elrod was 2 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI for the Bantams. Union is now 27-15 overall, 11-12 in the region. Gaston College is 32-12-1 and 14-9. They'll play Game 3 of that series tomorrow. Jake Richardson pitched 6 shutout innings, and USC Lancaster held on to beat USC Sumter by a score of 3-2 to take that series by a score of 2-1. The Lancers are now 19-22 overall, 12-12 in the region. Sumter fell to 23-20 and 11-15. Lancaster's Caden Barron had 2 hits, 2 stolen bases, a run scored, and an RBI for the Lancers. I'm sorry. One game I missed, I'm sorry. UNC Greensboro beat Wofford 4-1 to complete the Southern Conference Series sweep up in Greensboro. The Greensboro pitchers held Wofford to 10 hits for the weekend. Got 5 hits today. They had a 2-hitter and a 3-hitter in the doubleheader sweep on Saturday. Kenny Michaels actually pitched well for the Terriers, but didn't have anything to show for it. Pitched 5 innings, allowed 1 run, and he struck out 6. With that sweep, Wofford fell to 22-15 overall, 2-7 in the SoCon. UNC Greensboro improved to 17-18 and 7-2. Elsewhere, USC Aiken won the rubber game of a Peach Belt Conference Series with Augusta by a score of 9-5. Josh Sharp was 3 for 4 with a homer, a walk, a stolen base, 2 runs, and 3 RBI for the Pacers. Jack Hobson also had a homer and 3 RBIs for Aiken. The Pacers are now 18-24 overall, 8-13 in the Peach Belt. Augusta fell to 10-32 and 6-15. Also in the Peach Belt, USC Beaufort wrapped up a series sweep of Claflin with a 12-2 win in 8 innings. Ian Barnes pitched 7 innings for the Sand Sharks. He allowed 2 runs and struck out 6. USC Beaufort is now 8-31 overall, 4-17 in the Peach Belt. Claflin fell to 5-32-1 and 0-21. Joe Turner singled, doubled twice, and drove in 3 runs for Beaufort. Claflin has lost its last 24 games. Doing a quick check to make sure I did not miss any other games. And that is it. Now, looking at the schedule for Monday, it's a little bit busier schedule than typical for a Monday. Bryan and Spartanburg Methodist are making up a game rained out earlier this month with a 1 o'clock game at Mooneyham Field in Spartanburg. Gaston College and USC Union complete their series at 1 o'clock Monday at Jonesville Ballpark. Benedict plays at Morris for a doubleheader at 3 o'clock at Riley Park in Sumter. Southern Wesleyan and King complete their SAC series at 3 o'clock up in Virginia. Columbia International JV are playing at the P27 Academy at Lexington's Blowfish Stadium, Lexington County Stadium, if you will, at 3 o'clock. Also tomorrow, the semifinals and finals of the Conference Carolinas Developmental Tournament are set for Sparrow Stadium in Florence. Semifinals began with Erskine facing the Francis Marion JVs at noon, followed by Young Harris against Southern Wesleyan at 3 o'clock. Erskine, Francis Marion, and Young Harris all won their pods in the first day of the tournament, or last week. And Southern Wesleyan was the highest ranked, if you will, second place team to finish it up. Those noon and 3 o'clock winners will play for the championship at 6 o'clock, also at Sparrow Stadium. You can check out the information that I've given you, more details about each game, at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. I provide updates at on Twitter, formerly or X, formerly known as Twitter, at the handle of Palmetto Base. I've already posted the team of the week for Sunday for this past week. It was North Greenville. I've also listed my updated team rankings as well as the schedule for this coming week of April 14th through 20th. Some bit of good news for the Gamecocks is they did not play Sunday, so they did not lose. They had a rough weekend in College Station, Texas. One thing to look forward to later on this week, most teams have moved their series up by a day to avoid playing on Easter Sunday, which is next Sunday, April the 20th. The only team right now that is scheduled to play on Sunday is College of Charleston. They play the finale of a Coastal Athletic Association doubleheader at noon on Sunday up in at Northeastern. So several teams are playing Thursday, including South Carolina home against Louisville, South Carolina home against Ole Miss, Clemson home against Louisville. And again, I've posted the entire schedule. You can see what's going on at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Let me know what you like and don't like about my coverage. You can comment on this video. You can email me at rudyjones@PalmettoStateBaseball.com. You can comment on any of the posts at PalmettoStateBaseball.com, or you can comment on my post on X as well. For now, this is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com saying thanks for watching. Hope you have a great night. Remember, Jesus loves you.